Hi guys, welcome to math. We're going to start with our calendar, as always, right? So, on our calendar, we do the months of the year. How many months are in a year? Right, 12. So let's say them. And when I stop, you tell me what comes next. January, February, March and April, May, June, July and August, September, October, November, December. Those are the months of the year. There are 12. Okay, so we know that yesterday was, or we know that our month is still April. And what number month is April? 4, right? 4. And yesterday was Earth Day. It was 22. So we know today is 23, right? 23, and it's still the year 2020. So it's April 23, 2020. And if you look right here, there are how many days in the month of April? There's 30. How many more days until the last day of April? Now remember, we talked about how when you go down 1, that's 1 week later. And how many days are in a week? 7. And so we could count starting here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Or we can just go down 1 row, and that would be 1 week later or 7 days later. So in 1 week from today, we'll be doing, well, our day will be the last day of April, right? Okay, let's do our days. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. If yesterday was Wednesday, then today is Thursday. Capital T Hursday. Today is Thursday, April 23, 2020. And let's look at our clock. What time does our clock say right now? Our hour hand, the little red one, is pointing to the 2, and the minute hand, the blue one, is pointing straight up, which says o'clock. So it is 2 o'clock. Very good. What about this one? The small hour hand is between the 4 and the 5, which means we go back to the 4. And the blue minute hand is pointing straight down at the 6. And when it's pointing straight down, it says 30. So right now it is 4:30. Very good. Let's do a harder one. Okay, what do you think this one is? So the red hour hand, the little one, is between the 9 and the 10, which means we go back to the 9, and then we count by 5, starting with the 1, 5, 10, 15, 20, and it's past the 20. Do you see? It's past the 20, so it goes 21, 22, 23. 9:23 is our time on our clock right now. Excellent, excellent. Okay, now I'm going to pick out of the coin cup, and I picked out only dimes and pennies because today the first graders will be only doing a problem with dimes and pennies. So I have these dimes. I have 4 dimes, and how much are dimes worth? 10. So we're going to count by 10s 4 times. Are you ready? 10, 20, 30, 40. So we have 40 cents in dimes. And then I have this little coin right here, which is a penny, and it's worth 1. So I have 5 of those. So I will count on from 40. 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45. So I have 45 cents. I have 4 dimes and 5 pennies, which makes 45 cents. And we're still doing our 4s this week, right? So see if you can do the 4s. See if you can call out what the answer is before I even write it, okay? So 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 3 is 12. 4 times 4 is 16. 4 times 5 is 20. 4 times 6 is 24. 4 times 7 is 28. 4 times 8 is 32. 4 times 9 is 36. And 4 times 10 is 40. So let's count by 4s, our multiples of 4s. Are you ready? Here we go. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, 36, 40. In 2nd and 3rd grade, you guys go ahead and practice that, okay? Practice your multiplication tables, your 4s. Good job. Okay. We're going to count. The kindergartners today are going to be counting by 10s. And so I'm going to count by 10s on the board. All right, so count along with me. Here we go. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. Now, in my head, I can kind of hear you counting fast, right? I can hear you kind of counting fast in your head. So let's count fast going up to 100, but then we're going to go slow backwards from 100 down to 10. Okay, so ready? On your mark, get set, go. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. Slow down. 100, 90, 80, 70, 60, 50, 40, 30, 20, 10. Nice work. The other thing kindergartners are going to do today is write your name and someone else's name. So I'm going to write my first name, which is Angela. It's spelled A-N-G-E-L-A. And I'm going to write Mr. Kuzma's first name, which is Kevin. And it's spelled K-E-V-I-N. And they're going to ask you how many letters are in each name. So let's count how many letters are in my name. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now let's count how many letters are in Mr. Kuzma's name. In Kevin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's 6 letters in my name and 5 letters in Mr. Kuzma's name. And if I want to add them together to see how much we have all together in both of our names, I would do an addition column plus, right? So 6 plus 5. And I'm going to do touch math with this. I'm going to find the smaller number and put that many dots on it. So 5 dots on 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm going to say the bigger number and count on. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So there are 11 letters in both Angela and Kevin if I were to add them together. Okay? First graders, you're going to be doing some dimes, working with dimes and pennies. So let's say that you have 4 dimes and 2 pennies. And I'm going to use a D because dime starts with D. 4 dimes and 2 pennies because penny starts with P. And you and your friend want to put your money together. Maybe you're going to buy something at the store together, but you need both sets of your money to buy it. And your friend has 5 pennies and 1 dime. Okay? So I'm going to ask you, how many dimes do you have together? You have 4 and your friend has 1. What is 4 plus 1? What is 1 more than 4? 5. And you have 2 pennies and your friend has 5 pennies. How many pennies is that? What is 5 plus 2? So I can hold up the smaller number 2 and say the bigger number and count on. 5, 6, 7. 7. So I have 5 dimes and 7 pennies. I can count by tens because dimes are with 10 5 times. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. plus 7 more, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57. Okay, 57. So, and that's kind of cool. Look, 57. So if you have the dimes and the pennies, you can just write it just like that, 57. We counted it up to know that that's the right answer, right? Okay, you're also, first graders, you're also going to measure. And I think they're going to give you the same line, the same length line. But remember we talked about on our ruler, I hope you have rulers at home, that the top part up here, this with the bigger numbers is the inches side. And if you flip it over, those smaller numbers closer together are the centimeter side, right? So how many inches would this one be? So remember you put, this is the one side, and you put the very edge onto the very end of the line, and then you hold it up, and if you come over here and you see, it would be 10. So this is 10 inches long. But if I flip over my ruler and I use the centimeter side, I do the same thing. The 1 is on this side, and I put it right on the edge. If I look at the number that the line stops on, it's 24 centimeters. So inches are bigger, right? They're wider parts, so then it's going to be a smaller number, where centimeters are smaller, so that's what gives us a bigger number. So you're going to measure the line on your paper using your ruler, both the inches and the centimeter side. Second and third graders, you are going to write a number in expanded form. So I have a regular number, 352. And how expanded form means that you break it apart into its pieces. So my first number is 3, and this 3 represents 300. So I would write 300. Plus this 5 represents what? 352. Did you hear it? It's the tens place. It represents 50. So I would write 50. And then this is just in the ones place. A 2 is a 2, right? So this is expanded form. You break it apart and say what each one means. 352. Okay, that's expanded form. You can go the other way. If I have a number like this, I can write it in the regular way, 263, and it would look like this, 263. So it can go both ways, right? Okay. Also, you'll be working with multiplication, and if you have 5 groups of 3, so that can mean that there are, like at school, sometimes we put you in groups to do science or history or those type of things. And we put you into 5 groups. We only made 5 groups, and there were 3 kids in each group. That's what that means. Or if I have 5 bags and I only put 3 marbles in each bag, that's what that would mean. There's 5 groups with 3 in each group. So what that means is it's a multiplication problem. So it really means 5 times 3. There's 5 groups times 3 in each one. Do you remember what 5 times 3 is? Or 5 threes or 3 fives? It means the same. 5 groups of 3. If you count each one of these dots, 5 times 3 is, anybody know? 15, right? 15. So you would have a total of 15 marbles if you had 5 groups of 3 each. All right, the last thing I want you to do is I want you to tell me the names of these lines. So either it will be a vertical line, a horizontal line, or an oblique line. So what is this one? Vertical. Right. What about this one? Horizontal. And so this one would be oblique. Right, so oblique is sideways, horizontal is straight across, and vertical is up and down. And I remember horizontal because the horizon is flat, right where the ocean meets the sky. And vertical, right, there's a thing people get called vertigo when they are up too high and they get dizzy and they're looking straight down, vertical. So that what you need to do when you can't remember names, if they're kind of bigger names, then you have to connect them to something. And people do that to remember other people's names too. Like if you, like our neighbor, her name is Dr. Pat, and she always likes to pat our dogs and pat our kittens. And so that's the way you can remember Dr. Pat likes to pat our kittens. You can visualize her doing that, and then you can remember her name. So in any kind of math terms or any kind of big vocabulary words, try to pair it with something that you can visualize, that you can that you can see and you can connect with. Okay, all right, it's time for your worksheets today, so go ahead and get those out and have fun doing them. Remember to ask for help. And you'll be done with math for this week once you finish your worksheet for today. So great job working hard, guys.